Gerald W. Brister, and I had a young man um, got a hold to me, and he was wanting to put the truck together, and he wanted to put together a pickup. And I just threw the weld machine up in this one. I have a very big fifth wheel. You know, it's a long story, but I never intended to go to a welding school or anything. Miss Brister and I were going to just go travel around this country and maybe find a new place to live. So I bought this dually, bought that big trailer. One thing led to another, bought the weld machine, and I've got a big fifth wheel hitch in here, you'll see. So I've been kind of going back and forth. Do I need to rig a truck up? But I took all my parts and I had them professionally painted to match the machine. So we're going to start here, and I'm going to kind of walk you through how I've had 5 trucks, maybe 6, I can't remember right now. They have not all been Dodges, but about the last 4 have been, because the Dodges are the widest. We'll get in that in a minute. Take a look at this step right here. This is called an AMP, A-M-P step, and they're pretty common. A lot of you guys probably have them. And on my trucks, I have one to get up in the truck, and then I would use another one back here in the side so I can get up to put fuel in my truck. I can check the radiator. Had one on both sides that fold out, and I could get my jack stands. I carried my jack stands behind the machine because it was out of sight, out of mind. If nobody knew that step there, it was kind of hard to get them out if somebody wanted to steal them. And it just looks cleaner, okay? So let's move on. On every truck, I never had a steel bed, and I think I've said why. I got a piece of 1/8 stainless, I believe it was 1/8 stainless, sheeting, and it was the size of this, because you see all these ridges. It's hard to work off of, and it tears things up. So I got that 1/8 stainless, and I fitted it inside here on top of these ridges, and it's pretty much like the back of a steel bed. Matter of fact, it's better than a lot of steel beds if they have the big dips and all that stuff in it. So I would use that to work off of. I bought these boxes. These, I think, are Delta brand, and they're about 8 inches, I think, by 48. And there's a deep part, there's a shallow part, and you can tell these holes. I like to have music, so I had a stereo system put in each truck like this. And that way, nobody would say much about having the stereos on the job, unless you're just an idiot and blasting them loud, and everybody's got a million different kinds of music, and in some form it'd say, okay, no music for everybody if you're going to be idiots, okay? But I found that if it's on the truck mounted, and I turned it down, it doesn't have to be very loud, it just should be background music, okay? Then it made the job happy, and nobody would say anything. I built this rack right here. I just put a video out about my mom and how she almost died. 2 weeks. The story's out right now, matter of fact. And all the story, the ins and outs, and if I hadn't been there, she'd have died. My dad was handicapped. He couldn't have saved her. He couldn't even call 911. We walked in the door, da-da-da-da, she went down, and taking my rig saved her life. But I called her and was going to go home, and she never goes anywhere. And she says, we're going to be gone for 10 days. Your sisters are taking me. So during that time, I built this rack right here. It's like 26, 7 years ago. I built this in the garage, and this is an acetylene rack, a hosier pole rack, and a reel that can go in and out, okay? So these boxes are enough. If you need some more, and the back of the truck there on the quad, I would put a little, like these cargo plastic tubs, and I would carry some extra things in there. You can take them and have them custom made. My first truck, I had boxes that looked like this, but they were custom made. They were a little wider, and I had lead reels that folded out here. Different ways to do different things, and we'll talk a little bit more about it here in a minute.